Hello, I'm doing a video here today to demonstrate the difference in sound quality from the Route 66 B&B exhaust system to the B&B Bullet exhaust system. There's quite a bit of more volume to the B&B Bullets than there is to the Route 66. If you're looking for something with a nice mellow tone, then you want to go with the Route 66. It's definitely an upgrade from the stock factory exhaust. And it doesn't produce a lot of resonance inside the vehicle. You do hear some, but not quite a bit compared to the Bullets. The Bullets are much more have a much more drone sound to them. But on my particular Corvette, I insulated the interior underneath the carpet. I removed the entire interior, insulated it. I put a sound deadener, so I won't get that like the average Corvette guy who does not have the insulation or the sound deadener. But anyway, I'm going to start it up. The car's already been warmed up. I'm going to rev it up so you can hear the Route 66 B&B exhaust system. The idle has a nice mellow tone to it. You don't really notice an increase in decibels until you get on the throttle. And now I'm going to install the exhaust, and I'll turn it back on so you can hear the difference between, again, the Route 66 against the Bullet. Okay, the Route 66 exhaust is a lot easier to install than the Bullet. The reason for that is the Bullet has a curve at the end of the exhaust pipe. I mean, this pipe here. This is the Route 66 pipe. On the Bullet pipe, you have a bend right here next to the resonator. On the Route 66, it's not necessary to lower the sway bar, but on the Bullet, it is definitely a necessity. You have to lower the sway bar. But you do not have to remove the sway bar completely. The two end links on the control arms do not need to be removed. Just the two rubber bushing bridge mounts. You have to undo those, swing the sway bar down, and then you can install the Bullet exhaust pipe. You can't do it without doing that. Once you've inserted the exhaust pipes over the differential, you want to leave them unbolted until you bolt the sway bar back into position. Then go ahead and put your gaskets and bolt up your exhaust pipes, and then you can put on your tips. So now we'll see the difference in the tone. As you can see, there's a slightly elevated level of decibels. Not extraordinarily loud, but still you can definitely tell aftermarket exhaust. Even more so than the Route 66s, which are also aftermarket exhaust. These are just a little bit more rumbly. The reason I like the quad tips better is because it doesn't leave you with that wide open space. But I did just order a stainless steel, highly polished insert that goes right here, covering this area here. And it does have the C5 Corvette emblem, which will make it look a lot nicer. As you can see, when you rev it up, it does sound a little bit more loud than the Route 66s. So it's all a matter of preference. If you have a wife that doesn't, she will probably want you to get the Route 66. I have a wife, I just don't give a shit. I like the louder sound. Anyway. Since I put the bullets on, I do like them a lot better than the Route 66, but I did like the Route 66 tips better. The quad oval tips, they look much nicer than the single rounds that came on the bullets. So I cut off the Route 66 tips and welded them onto the bullet exhaust. And I welded the round tips onto the Route 66 exhaust, and I sold the Route 66s for like 600 bucks. And I like these a lot better. They actually do not make the bullet B&B exhaust with the quad ovals. You cannot get them. I called B&B and I spoke to them about it because I originally wanted these ovals, but they said no, that they don't make them. They said the reason they don't make them is because the tips stick out too far. I kind of like the way they look sticking out like that. I think that looks cool. And they really don't stick out that much. But I do think they look cool sticking out. Certainly look a lot cooler than the round tips. I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you like the round tips better or the quad ovals? Some of the other mods I did on this car are C7 Corvette wheels. These are 19s. I really like them because of the Corvette insignia. If you're going to run C7 Corvette wheels on your C5, you do need to buy the adapters. These are not just any cheap adapters. These were like 260 bucks for the pair. USA made by Bora. Stands for Bulletproof Off-Road Racing Adapters. And I got them on my Duramax also. And I've had 6,700 pounds of gravel in the back of that truck. And that's got 2-inch, or no, 1.75 inch rear spacers on it. Adapters. They have the lug nuts pressed into the adapter. And then on the front, I went with this, I think it's a 3/8 spacer. This is just a spacer, not an adapter, so it just pushes the wheel out. And along with that, I ordered also from Bora the extended lug nuts. The extended lug nuts go beyond the thickness of the wheel and into this adapter spacer. So these are perfectly safe as well. Another mod I did was I took off the gauge cluster and I put on these aluminum rings. It makes it really pop. Also at night, it looks really cool, even though I didn't put purple bulbs in, but it gives off a purple hue around each of the rings, which looks pretty cool. And then I pulled off my stereo console here, and I sent it to Double D. I think it's called Double D Mods for Double DIN. This is a Double DIN radio. And they customized my original factory bezel here and made it large enough to accept the Double DIN radio. I sent my climate control, and I had that rebuilt with all new bulbs. They are notorious for going dim, and as you can plainly see, this is daylight, and you can clearly see that thing working perfect. And my car does have the heads-up display. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it on this camera, but it does work, and it works great. Another mod I did was the oil sending unit on this particular car. I've actually had to change the oil sending unit out on this car 3 times, and each time I did it, I had to remove the intake manifold in order to reach the sending unit, because it's in the back of the engine block. So I went ahead and I bought a setup like this. As you can see, the sending unit is right here. So it's not a matter of if that sending unit goes out, but when it goes out. It will go out again, but next time when it goes out, I don't have to take off the intake manifold. And in case you're wondering what that costs, that's like, I think I spent $260 on it. But it's definitely worth it, even if you don't have the mechanical ability to take off the intake manifold, and you have the dealer do it. Buy the kit, give them the kit, have them put the kit on, because they're going to charge you probably a lot more than $260 to take off the intake manifold to change that oil sending unit. So it'll pay for itself, because like I said, this is the 3rd one I've had to put on. Another thing I did to this was I installed a brand new Dewitt Radiator, USA made, not a cheap Chinese crap. And it is a all aluminum and the one with long tubed headers. And when I bought the headers, they just came stainless steel. So I boxed them up and I sent them off to Jet Hot coatings. And I had them coated, ceramic coated inside and out. So these will never rust. They're always going to be a lot cooler. It knocks off supposedly like 250 degrees from the under hood temperatures. Of course, I installed the Optimas. This is my third Optima. And I went with a Z06 Front Air Cleaner. And there's no modification to that, in case you're wondering. It's just a simple bolt-on. The car is pretty low mileage, you know, considering it's a 2002. It's only got, I believe, 86,000 miles on it. I've had to replace the tank, overflow tank for the radiator. And my windshield wipers are malfunctioning. So I will be doing a video upcoming for replacing the motor on this thing. I'm hoping it's the motor and not the switch on the steering column. What they're doing is they're just slowly, they work a little bit and then they freeze and then they come back down and then stop, and then it takes a while for them to start to get them to rest on the perch right there. And another mod I did was the oil filler. And I just put in a brand new AC compressor, AC condenser, flushed all the lines. But yeah, that's my favorite mod right there, the wheels. I love these wheels. It's funny because the C8 Corvettes came with some really stupid looking wheels. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I mean, these are so much nicer than the C8 Corvette wheels. So if I was going to get a C8, the first thing I would do is order a set of these and get rid of the other ones. And I stuck the C5 wheels on my 87 Corvette, C4 Corvette. So I'm probably going to paint it in the spring. I know it's overdue for it. It's got the original paint, and I hardly ever drive this car. So it hasn't been that important to me to get it painted. But she'll look brand new once it's painted. Another thing I had to do to this car, about 7-8 years ago, the rear glass fell out of the convertible top. This is the original convertible top. And it's 19 years old. And well, actually we're in December, so this car was actually made in September of '01. So yeah, this car's already over, well, it's 20 years old. But yeah, anyway, getting back to it, this window fell out. And I called a couple of places that were capable of installing a new convertible top. And they all told me the same thing. I asked them if they could just re-glue the window. They said, no, you have to replace the whole top. So instead of replacing the whole top, because there is nothing wrong with this top, I mean, the top is in still perfect condition, and this was, like I said, about 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago that I had this issue. What I did was I opened the top and I put silicone gasket sealer all the way around this perimeter, about 1 inch, all the way around. I had the top open, and I stuck some boots, cowboy boots, to push the window up and hold it there while the silicone gasket sealer dried. I left it overnight, and I haven't had to do anything to it since. This window, I mean, it's not going anywhere. And like I said, it's been many years since I did this repair. Altogether, I have about $3,300 just in the exhaust. And if I had to do it over again, the only thing I would have done is the bullets. I would not have put long tube headers on this car. Putting long tube headers on a car like this it's a mistake. You can do it on non-computer controlled vehicles, but when you do it to a computer controlled vehicle, the problem is on long tube headers, it relocates the O2 sensor further downstream, about 18 inches. And the O2 sensors, they all have built-in heaters, but these heaters are not enough to get them up to optimal temperature, which is around 650 degrees. So they send false readings to the computer, and then the computer thinks that the car is experiencing a lean fuel mixture. So what it does is it richens up the fuel mixture, and you get a check engine light. And the only alternative or way to fix it is you can program out the O2 sensors, or you can take it to a dyno shop, have them hook it up to their system, and they will do it for you. If they do it for you, you're looking at about $500. Although now the price is skyrocketing everywhere, thanks to Biden, you're probably going to pay a lot more than $500. That's what it was when I put these headers on about 2-3 years ago. So the alternative is to buy yourself one of those Diablo tuners, and you can call Summit Racing, and they'll tell you, where to get the program if you just want to tune out the O2 sensors. And I'm hoping that is going to be the problem solver for me, because I've already got the Diablo tuner, so I just have to buy the program. And when I talked to them last, they wanted $150 for that. And that's a lot better than spending $500 for the dyno. Now, I was going to go ahead and put, a nice choppy cam in this thing, but I don't really need it. So maybe I will, maybe I won't later on. But if I do, then I got to drop the entire transaxle and put a stall converter in as well. And that's just a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work for, just for it to sound a lot cooler and a few more horsepower. So, and the cost, you're looking at about $1,200 for the cam set, and another $600 to $700 for the torque converter. And so you're looking at about $2,000 for that, and then that's before you even do the work. And if you're going to do the labor yourself, you're going to save the money. But if you're going to pay somebody, well, then you're probably going to have to spend another $2,000 to $2,500 for that. So, that's up to you if you want to spend that kind of money. But for a nice choppy idle. So if I was going to get pay the dyno $500 to solve the O2 sensor issue, and then do the cam and the torque converter swap, then I'd have to go back and give them another $500 on top of that, $2,000 in parts, another $500 to have them re-dynoed. So I don't want to spend another $2,500 on this car. I mean, as cool as this car is. Who knows, maybe someday. But not right now. I got too many other projects going on. But as you can see, check engine light's on. Came on right after installing these long tubes. But as you can also see, I got a functional oil pressure gauge. That is rare in C5 Corvettes. love the bullets. Kind of like the Batmobile. Yeah, I believe these cars are just going to keep going up and up and up. So if you don't have one, I'd get one as soon as possible, because they've already gone way up in value, thanks to Biden. All these lockdowns make everything hard for manufacturers of new automobiles, so all these old automobiles are going way up. How many people think I should put a bat symbol on the door? Just kidding, I'm not going to do that. Oh yeah, another thing I had to do. The turn signals, the front marker lights. The bulb is actually really high on these things, and because they're on all the time, they melt the plastic right above the bulb, putting a hole in the light. And then water will get down there and it'll burn out the bulb if it starts raining while you're driving it. So I pulled off the assembly, and I took a piece of sheet metal, cut it, so it was beyond the circumference of the hole in the lens, and I used silicone gasket sealer like a Band-Aid, and I put that over it, so it'll never melt through again. They're not easy to change, those bulbs. Anyway, if you like what you're seeing, if you want to see more videos about cars, guns, go ahead and subscribe. Push the like button, push the thumbs up button. It'd be greatly appreciated. And that's it for now, and have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.